What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Twisted Wanderer podcast. This is season 2, episode 1. And for episode 1, I have a very special, important, most wonderful human on earth joining us today. And that is my Mama Duke's mommy, Mrs. Pat, as a lot of people call her. And yeah, Mom, take it away. Just introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, I'm Patricia, Jacqueline's mom. I have recently moved from New York to Tennessee. I have 3 children and 4
Only
grandchildren.
one favorite.
Only one favorite, never to be told who it is. And I have 4 grandchildren and 1 more on the way.
Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
So excited. I'm excited about that.
Yep.
So Mom, I guess to start it off, why don't we talk about, I guess let's talk about first your experience being a mom with your child going into a major surgery. How was, I don't know, let's go back to being me 19 and I don't know how old you were, 30 years old, 20. How old were you? I can't do math when I was 19.
30 years older than you. So if you were 19, I was 49.
Okay. So when you were 49, do you remember when me, you, and Dad were all in those offices together and we had denied spinal fusion surgery for the first time? What were you thinking in that moment back then?
That you probably needed it, but it was a very scary thing and hated to have to put you under the knife for such a big surgery. Because with surgery, there's always a fear of not coming out, something going wrong. So yeah, yep, it was scary.
It was scary. I think, do you feel like as parents and of someone, do you feel as parents when I was diagnosed at the age of 13 that the school did anything for you to educate you as parents to understand what the diagnosis was?
Well, they simply explain that it's a curvature of the spine. But at that point, I don't believe the curvature was that large. So then you, of course, take it upon yourself. The nurse did her job. She diagnosed it. And then we took it to look at it, read about it, and no one really knowing what it was going to do. I didn't know it would increase and the curvature would increase each year. And so we had no idea that's where we were headed.
Blindsided for sure.
Yeah.
I feel, well, when I had a previous episode with Dr. Beth, and we talked a little bit about how you get diagnosed in school, and they actually, because it just wasn't helpful, they took the whole thing away. They don't do it anymore, which I think is insane because so they could have, I feel like you should get diagnosed, go home with your parents and talk about it and get research on it. But no one told us that.
Why would they take it out of the school? Because that's where they found it. You were 12, 13.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
So, but your general practitioner doctor never noticed you had a curve.
Yep.
So you would think if your doctor didn't catch it, the school did. So the school was a good thing. It shouldn't be taken out of the school.
Yep. That's what we were talking about. And I just think it's crazy because now I feel like more cases are going to get missed and more people are going to actually have to go through spinal fusion, which I feel like was my last resort. Waited. We didn't want to.
Once you find out that it's there, it should be something that's looked at. I guess we didn't even do it annually. We did it but it was like sporadic. When you really complained about your back, we would take you to another doctor. So it's something that should be watched over
I
the
agree.
years.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of sad to find that out because I feel like they should try harder to fix it instead of
Yeah,
just take it away.
right. Exactly. Someone needs to catch it. And if it's not your general practitioner, the school nurse would be next. Because
Yeah.
if I looked at your back when you were young, I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't have known. And all it is you're bending at the waist. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's very
That's how
simple.
they see it. Yeah. So interesting.
Hopefully, I'll try and change the world one day, Mom.
You go, girl. You work on it. You're headed in the
But
right direction.
Mom,
Mhm.
um, I wanted to when I was younger, we never, along with not really getting a lot of information after diagnosis, we never heard the word brace, right? I want to say that we never did.
I don't think we did. I don't ever remember being told that because I think it's something we would have looked into.
Me too.
Yeah, it's not something we would have let go.
I
So no.
agree.
Okay.
I think that was crazy. I was like, no way. I was like, my parents and I, if we would have heard that, we would have gotten
We
braces
would have
because that's
acted.
often the first step is to be braced. But even when I said at 16, because I feel like that's when my pain really started to become like prominent and just
Mhm.
really painful, and just never heard the word brace. And I'm
Yeah,
finding all these people who've been braced, but some still obviously have to go through with surgery.
right.
It really depends on when you get braced. The sooner the better.
Yes.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Blaze.
I went to school with a girl in high school who wore a brace for 2 years through high school for scoliosis.
Oh wow. I didn't know
Mhm.
that. What did
Yeah.
it look like? Like
Oh,
just the back?
she was braced the entire whole body.
Was it metal at that time?
No,
I
it
know you're not
almost
that.
looked like a cast. It looked like a cast.
Okay.
But
Like
I
she
mean,
had to stay in it all day?
yeah, yes, all through the day, all through school, she wore it. Because
Yeah.
what it's not gonna fix if you don't. You have to wear it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. I've seen a lot of people have to wear it for, I think I read on a few people's pages like 18 hours a day. Well,
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
imagine that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yep. Yes, I
High
would imagine
school.
you don't sleep in it, but then you wear it from the time you wake
Yeah.
up to the time you go to bed. That's a
Do
lot
you
of.
remember if she was bullied? Because I feel like high school's terrible to begin with. I can't.
No, no, because that's
Good.
something you don't bully about. That's
Well,
definitely, you don't touch that. That's
okay,
someone
good.
else.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Mhm, mhm.
So, well, next being, well, I know we talked about surgery, but I kind of want to talk about, because you said the fear of never coming out of surgery, which that was my biggest
Yeah,
fear.
yeah,
Remember, I put Dom in charge of
yeah, I know.
offing me. So, well, but
Ridiculous.
I am ridiculous. A little background story to the listeners out there. I was definitely afraid of not waking up or waking up paralyzed. And while there are great people out there who are paralyzed and get through their days and like make their life the best life that they possibly can, I was just so afraid of it that had my best friend Dom promise me that he would find a way to off me if I woke up that way because I'm me, I'm crazy. So, but I feel like it's just good to be prepared.
I guess. I don't know.
I
I don't know about that.
guess I think sometimes just talking about your crazy fears and just having like a crazy plan in place that's probably not going to happen because everything's going to go good because
Yep.
I trusted my surgeon. Shout out Dr. Zavarella. Maybe I can have him on here one day.
Yeah. He's a great surgeon.
He is. He
He's
really
a great
did
surgeon. went
Gave
into
me a
so
new
much
life.
detail. He did, and he was easy to talk to and explained everything in our language. That it
Yeah,
was a
not
comfortable. It was definitely comfortable. And while
what.
you were having surgery, I watched not your surgery, but I watched a spinal fusion surgery on YouTube with Dom
Why? Why would you do
because I
that? I've
wanted to
always
see what it was going to be.
I still haven't watched one to this
Yes,
day.
I
Yeah,
watched it.
I don't think I'm going
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
But my question with that is, since I know you had you so the first time you went under the knife was in 2012, right? Did you
No,
have
no.
any other
The first
surgeries?
time I went under surgery was you were 4. You were 4. I had my tubes tied. That was my very first.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
how do you, or any advice you can give to anyone listening, how did you calm yourself down before surgery? That's a big surgery, getting your tubes tied and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't think I was ever, I have to say, I've had a lot of surgeries in my life, but I feel like I went into surgery. Most of those surgeries I have had were what's the one? What's the word? Not needed.
Volun Not
They,
needed.
yeah, they were.
Voluntary.
Thank you, voluntary surgeries. So I went into most of my surgeries positive because it's what I wanted, and I
That's
trusted my doctors, and they did what they were supposed to do, and I was fine. So yeah, I don't think
oh,
I ever even when I
even
had
yeah.
my
Your double
my
mastectomy?
second, I went in and I had a lot of surgeries for that. There were 4 of those.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't want to do it, but I felt like I trusted in those doctors and they were going to help me live.
Yeah.
If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be here. So I put my faith in those doctors and always positive, they always positive. So
Well,
that's how, I mean,
you're
it's
a strong
big.
ass lady. It's huge.
Well, it's scary in its
It
own
is
right, but
scary.
if you don't go in with the right attitude and the right, you have to. It all comes from in you. It all comes from in you, and they are the ones who fix what's wrong, but it has to come from you.
Yeah,
All the aftermath of it all comes from your strength.
I feel like the aftermath of it all definitely sticks out because I feel like all people think about is the day of surgery. And then once you wake up from it and you're like, okay, that was the fucking easy part. Now I have to like,
Right, I didn't have to do anything. I just laid there.
right. And
Right.
I didn't think about it like that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
surgery. So
Yeah. The healing part is harder than the surgery.
definitely. And I
Yep.
feel like I wish I understood that before going under.
Yeah, but
I don't know what I thought. I thought I was just gonna wake up and like butterflies and happiness, I guess.
wow, that'd be wonderful. It was hard. Your post surgery was very hard. It was really hard for you. You were in a lot of pain. The painkillers really didn't help. You didn't want to take them because you didn't want to get addicted.
Well, because
It
it
was a
was three
lot.
years. It was only 3 years after Jake had overdosed from.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
was just very nervous. For anyone who doesn't know, I don't think I've talked about Jake on this podcast yet. Um, Jake was my best friend, practically extra brother, mom's extra son. Growing up, just familyhood friends, and he passed away in 2013 due to heroin overdose. And I just was really afraid to get addicted because I wasn't recovered from that traumatic event in my life. And then I had to go through this traumatic event. And all I could think about, like you said, was just like getting hooked because I have an
Mhm.
addictive personality and I was So really, I tortured myself, I guess, because I was
You
just
did.
like, I don't want to take the pills.
You did torture yourself. It was
But
hard to get
then,
those pills down your throat.
yeah, but then when I wanted them, do you remember? Let's take us back to the morning of surgery. No, the week after we're going home. Do you remember leaving the hospital that day?
I
And
remember
we
I was trying
we
to avoid all
yeah,
the
all the
holes in the road, and I was
yeah,
swerving all around them, and we got pulled over for that.
we
That poor
did.
little policeman thought I was inebriated,
Drunk.
drunk.
Inebriated. But you were just being a good mom like you've always
Right,
been.
exactly. That's it.
That But when we got home after this fiasco, because the cop ended up actually, didn't he ended up like leading us home
We
then?
followed him home. Yep, with lights.
Yeah,
He took
with
us home.
lights,
Yep.
VIP,
Yeah.
cell
Yes, you
phone. um, but when we got home and I had to get like settled, I don't think the chair was there yet. You ordered me a chair.
did. The chair, lifted you out of it, backed you into it. It was a great
Yeah,
little chair.
it was
Everybody fought
amazing.
for that chair. We all fought for it. It's like, when's Jack going to bed so we can get in the chair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember because everyone was over for, I feel like it was like, was it
It's
football?
football.
Football Sunday because I had
Football
my
Sundays,
surgery.
right? At
Yeah,
Labor Day.
September 6th, right? Yeah, so right as football was beginning.
Mhm.
So I had my little spinal fusion chair in front of the TV, but when I got too tired and couldn't watch the games anymore, I would go to bed and everyone, there's like Marky B was there, JK, Joey
Yep.
Mayer. Like I just remember
Aaron.
Aaron, everyone talking about the chair.
Yep.
And,
It was a
and
great
then
little
I was
chair. We had it for a month. It was wonderful.
it was a huge help. I would definitely recommend that
It's
because
definitely
getting up from a regular chair is hard after
very,
surgery.
yeah, absolutely.
So just those angles of support to get out of the chair was really helpful. And
Yep.
then what else? Oh, what was this leading me to? But we got home
And they
and
didn't have your pills.
they didn't have my pain medication. I was
And
actually willing to take them because of all the swerving in the fucking car. And then we didn't have any
we didn't have any.
until the
Nope.
next day.
Yeah, it was the
Was it
next
the
day. We
next
had to
day?
wait a day. Yep.
Was that the first night of my screamings, or did that come later in the week? I know it
No,
was the first.
you started screaming. Yeah. hmm
How bad was it? Like from your point of view, because I've talked about it from my point of view, but I want to hear your point of view from the 2 weeks from hell that I call them of me screaming.
Well, they were hard and heart wrenching from the mother's end of it. You're watching your child, no matter how old you are, in pain, and there's really nothing you can do to help them other than
Yeah,
try to comfort. And I remember sleeping in the bed with you and holding you, just
yeah,
hoping it would stop. But it took a long time for you to recover. It was a rough recovery. I
it
don't
was.
think I really. I mean, I knew it was surgery, but I don't. Same thing. Like you concentrate on the surgery, but you don't think of what that's going to do in the following days and weeks, and how you handle it. And you were just in a lot of pain. I mean, you had a rod more than halfway down your back. It doesn't belong there. Let's put it that way.
Nope.
So, it's adjusting how to move again, how to bend, how to do anything again, because your whole
Yeah.
body has been changed. Things have been shifted. So it was painful to watch you. You
You
were
did great.
we did great. We got through
Yeah,
it.
we were a
We
good
did.
team.
We
I
are a good.
remember, like, you were just amazing. I feel like, I don't know, you heard me from miles away. I don't know if you slept well
Yeah, except for
for
after
2 weeks.
the hospital. I didn't hear you then.
Oh
Remember
yeah. Well, yeah, my mom, well, I feel like I got you back for that.
that?
Backwards, when we were in the hospital, they come in and they move you. You usually sleep on your sides, like pillows in between the legs. I still sleep like that now. It's been a few years since I have, but I was like, I need to really invest in my health. So I have a huge long
Right.
body pillow now, and I'm sleeping like that again, like how you really should be. But in the hospital, I was so uncomfortable. I don't know how my call belt fucking got on the floor. And then my mom was passed out, and the nurse was probably doing rounds, giving meds. Like, who knows what
Yeah.
happens? We were on the SICU, so the surgical ICU unit. Um, and I just remember trying to, like, I thought I was screaming, mom, but now that I look back,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
I probably wasn't, because of how, I woke up so sore. Like, my
Yeah.
face was down for so long, and
Yes.
I just feel like after surgery, I probably didn't scream. But
Probably
I
not.
made my mom feel bad because the nurse wasn't coming in. My mom couldn't hear me, and I was just like in tears, like slowly coming down my cheeks because I just needed my position to move, and I was just like, ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she
Tough
heard
stuff.
me every day after.
I did every
You
day after.
rallied. You
I
were really
did.
great.
I rallied. Yep. Yep.
And I think, were you there for my first sneeze?
Probably. I don't even remember your first sneeze. But
Oh,
then
I
just
remember it.
hold a pillow. You should always hold a pillow after surgery. Always hold a pillow by your stomach and sneeze.
Oh, and sneeze.
You
Oh,
did that. I remember that. Now I do remember
yeah.
because I think
But
that's where I learned it.
yes, because it was very painful. I didn't expect sneezing to be so painful. And I don't know where you were one day when you left me with Bruno, and I got nauseous from my medicine, but I couldn't get to the floor to bend over to puke over the bowl. So Dad and I are standing in the bathroom, and he's just like, ew, you're gonna get sick, just being Dad. And I'm just like, oh my God, this isn't funny. Just give me the fucking. And I'm just like standing up like this, like puking into the garbage. And he's like, ew. And I'm just like looking at him, and I'm so angry, and I'm in
Yeah,
so
but
much pain.
that's your father. He makes light of it. Try to make you
Yeah.
light instead of think about what's really happening. Because when you
Yeah.
think about it, all your daily moves every day, you don't realize how much your back is involved. A
Yeah.
sneeze, throwing it, you don't realize all that your back does for you until something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Now I know that my back does everything.
Everything. It's
Everything.
everything. Yep.
My
It's
back has my back.
exactly. Yep. That's true. Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a roller coaster.
It was, but thank God it all came together. And, you still have some issues and pain here and there, but
But
you're
it's so
working
much
through
better.
that. Yeah, you're doing all
Yeah.
the right things now to get it to work for you.
Yes. Took me a
Yeah,
while, but I'm here.
you're there. It's okay.
Oh,
It's a learning,
life.
it's a learning lesson. I don't know. It's hard, but you
Life
do it.
is just one day at a time, people.
Yes, it is. One day at a time. You learn from each day. That's it. And I
Oh,
got to wake up every day with a better attitude. And there you go.
yes, that's a
Mhm.
huge part.
Yep, absolutely.
Our The biggest thing I remember, kind of remember, but this, I feel like I want to touch on this because feel like it can help anyone else out there who's had a major surgery and then a really important loved one just decides to pass the same month. But so I had my surgery September 6th, and my grandma, my mom's mom, passed away September. I always say her birthday, and it wasn't her birthday. So it was the week before her
22nd.
birthday.
22nd.
22nd. Oh, right, the day before. That's great. Um, So yeah, my grandma passed away, and we ended up I got a wheelchair for
We
the
got a
first time
wheelchair.
in my life. That was weird.
Yeah, because you couldn't walk through the wake. You couldn't walk through the cemetery. You couldn't. do it. It was too much. It was only 16
2
days
weeks.
after surgery.
Oh yeah, not even 2. Yeah,
Yeah,
just 2 weeks. Yeah.
just 2 weeks. Yeah.
And I just remember being so sad and upset, but just in pain. And I feel like it just
Yeah,
took me longer to grieve Grandma Reza because I feel like I didn't get to that
we
at that time.
well, you really pushed yourself because no one forced you to go to it, but you wanted to be there. So
Yeah.
you rallied and pushed yourself through that. So that was,
I was not missing that. That was not happening.
no.
So I just wanted to share that because I feel like, I don't know, it can help someone if you're going through a major surgery and that happens. There's ways to go and you could push through and you'll get through it. So that
You
was my
did.
little tidbit on that.
Mhm.
But I kind of want to talk about, since, the Twisted Wonder is about scoliosis mainly, but it's also about all the other twists and turns and emotional things of life itself. And
Mhm.
I'm a strong woman because I was birthed by a strong woman. So kind of want to go, if you don't mind, a little into your journey with the
With
double, yeah, your journey, double
I
mastectomy
was
and
I was
cancer, that piece of shit.
yeah. Well, I was diagnosed in October of 2020 with triple negative breast cancer, which is extremely aggressive. And I was in stage 3. So the course was to have chemotherapy for 8 treatments, and then the double mastectomy. So it took a while. I don't know. It took 4 or 5 months to get through all the chemo, and then the double mastectomy, and just a whole bunch of crap in between. I had the port put in. The port got infected, so that had to go in and come out. And then after they did the double mastectomy, more lymph nodes were cancerous, so they had to go back in. Then they put in expanders in case, you want to have, what do they call them? Implants to have breasts. And the expander on one side got infected. So I had one with an expander and the other one flat. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 surgeries later, and it was all during COVID.
Yeah,
So
that's fucking terrible.
no one could come with me for chemo. No one could come into the hospital with me for my surgeries. So it was truly a solo.
So dive into it a little. I know, stay there in the moment. Like, how did you, like, it was a huge thing to go through. I feel like, you're
A very
still
huge thing.
going through it now. So kind of walk me through what was in your headspace during those days that I'm sure there had to be hard days. Who knows if you fucking had them because you're an amazing woman. You can't fucking
I
tell.
still show them. I don't normally show them. But yeah, it's hard. I prayed a lot. I have a lot of faith. I didn't want to die. I refused to die. It was like, what's that saying JK used to say? God don't want me yet. So
Yeah.
I thought that a lot. A lot of things. It just, I need to see my children grow. I need to see my grandchildren grow. I need to be there for everyone. You can't have me yet. Like all of that runs through your head. And you just have to really be strong. You have to be strong. Chemo was harder than the surgeries. Chemo was horrifying. You go there and you come
Is it like
home.
what it is it like what they show you in movies where people
Absolutely.
are sitting around and stuff?
Yes, but you had your own private, well, maybe because it was COVID, I don't know what it's like normally, but I had my own room with a TV. The nurses, you got to say, they are amazing. They hook you up and they walk away and say, if you need me, just call. But I had reactions to chemo. My blood pressure would go out of control. So they would have to come in and shut the chemo down and wait 15 minutes and then turn it back on and see if I could handle it, which I did for most of the part. But that was horrible to sit there because you sat there comfortably, you watch TV, and you have poison going through you.
Yeah.
But when you get home, it's like you're so the first day you're good. It's almost like adrenaline. I don't know what it is. And the next day, all you do is sit on the couch. That was it. You sat on the couch. It was hard to breathe. Like you felt like every breath was a struggle.
Struggle. Oh,
Yep. But then, you kind of go. Like I would get up and, sweep the floor, anything just to feel like I was useful.
yeah.
Yeah. But the only, I will never forget this. My doctor, when she told me to buy bigger sweatpants, because I was going to be sitting on the couch a lot. And I looked at her and I thought the doctor was going to smack me. And I looked at her and I said, I'm sorry, I didn't even get the cancer that makes you skinny. And she was so angry at me. But that's all I could think at that moment was like, are you kidding me?
That's what I would have done. I don't
You know,
know.
I don't know. It was
Dark
a terrible
humor.
thing to think. Yeah, dark humor. Because
Dark humor gets us through.
you're trying to make light of a very bad situation. So that's what came to my mind. But yeah, it was definitely a struggle. There's times I still struggle with it. The surgeries didn't go the way I wanted. I opted at that point after all 5 surgeries, no more. Like I want to go flat. I'm not happy with that result,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to do another surgery. So
I would.
it's a struggle with myself, like you body acceptance. Like this is not, I was always so proud of my boobs. I love them.
They're beautiful.
They're gone.
I
So it's a
know.
struggle every day. But it is what, and I'm alive. So I kind of need to get over that. Like they don't define me. That's not what makes me me.
I
But,
agree.
still in your head is this isn't what I wanted.
It
But I'm
takes a
alive.
very long time.
It takes a very long time. Yep.
And we're completely two different people, two different journeys. But I'm just starting to love myself again, and it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm finally giving my body the love it deserved all this
Right.
time, and it's been 7 years. And yours is completely when you wake up and you're in the mirror, it's in front of you. Mine's
Right
behind me,
there.
so I can't imagine like
Yep.
it's a huge difference. But I would
It
just
is.
say give yourself grace and
Do
forgiveness,
it.
and day
Just do
by
it.
day.
Right. Right. Because it is what it is. And, thank God for the doctors and nurses that were there to help me and get me through it. And here I am to talk about it. So it's okay.
Yes.
If I don't have boobs, it's okay to not have them. So that's that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love you. You're so strong, and I appreciate you talking about it
Thank you. Well, yes.
because you like to push
Everything gets pushed. Yes. Yep.
it.
It's just how I deal. And then there's times, sometimes I have a little too much to drink and then I go off and cry. But that's okay too.
No, that's okay too. Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Got to let it out at some point.
It has to. And if you don't, it will let itself out.
Exactly. Yes. Probably not at a good time.
No, usually not.
Usually not. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, do
Well,
you want to play scoliosis myths, Mom?
sure.
We'll break
Let's.
up. We'll break up the heaviness.
Okay.
So let's see. Welcome to the next segment, people. We're gonna see some scoliosis myths because I think they're funny. So, myths about spinal fusion. Well, let's see. Ah, wait, I should have done myth or fact.
Oh,
Damn. Oh well.
it's
All
okay.
right. Well, for this myth that we're gonna break, the myth is spinal fusion limits flexibility entirely. That is clearly a myth. I feel like maybe back in the day,
Maybe,
because I
yes.
think back in the day when, because I know I have a rod, but it doesn't. It's not like fully like back in the day. They put like that one rod in,
Yes.
so you wouldn't be able to be flexible really at all because
But
it doesn't move.
right. It
Where
does move.
But what I got done, which is why this is a myth, and depending on the type of surgery and when you had your surgery, depending on the year, I feel like this one could be true or false. But for me, it's definitely false because I have rods and pins, so they're able to do this
So you can,
and I
yeah,
can bend. So
right.
that's definitely a myth. The one that I found funny was, oh, I think I did that one last time, but that it was contagious. Scoliosis was contagious.
Yeah, definitely not.
Not true.
Is it genetic?
So
Is
it
it some?
is. That's what I was. So it can be. That's what I wanted to ask you actually. So we, I know you have scoliosis, but we didn't even really
I
know
I
that.
I saw it in an X-ray. I don't know. I did years and years ago. I was looking through old X-rays while I was looking for yours, and one of my reports said yes, I had scoliosis, but nothing like yours. The curvature wasn't as large, and it never increased
Yeah.
because I never had. And your grandmother had it,
Did she have? I just had. Did
scoliosis.
she just have scoliosis, or did she have the one with the K? The
What's the
ketophosis.
no? She
The
had
one that makes that was all from her scoliosis, like her humpback at the end of her,
no.
like when
That was
she got older. I
she
feel like
got
that's Kifa.
she had stenosis of the spine.
That could do it too.
Yes. She had stenosis of the spine, but she had scoliosis, but the same thing, not a large curvature and nothing that ever increased, but she had scoliosis.
Huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's not, I mean, on all my reports, it says idiopathic, which means they don't know why, even though both of
But
you have had it. So I
yeah,
guess,
but I don't think that was something we ever discussed with the doctor.
oh,
Honestly, we never said that. So I
I
wonder, it's
wonder.
definitely something genetic.
We'll have to
I don't know.
ask Dr. Beth.
Yes, Dr. Beth. There you
Why?
go.
Um, that's so funny. All right, next one. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can find a good one. A good one. I can't talk. Relax. Oh, whatever. Moving on. I don't like this. They don't have good ones.
All right.
You can't. Oh, this is actually a good one. Let's break this one. So this myth says spinal fusion eliminates all pain.
No,
That's definitely false.
that's a definitely not.
While I have less chronic pain, I still have chronic pain. I have a residual 20-degree curve in my lumbar spine that
That's
I'm
because
currently.
we didn't do that, right?
Yeah,
Could
I
you
don't
have,
want to.
you didn't want to, because that would more limit you,
All
correct?
the way down.
All the
Yeah,
way.
because we all the way down. So we stopped at L1. So I think you want it to go originally to 4 or 5.
Mm,
And I said, fuck that.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, because you didn't want to limit yourself more.
But it's definitely still painful. I think sometimes the rain, just because I have now like
Surgery.
titanium
And
surgery.
every surgery will do that to you. When it rains, when it's damp, things like it affects where you had your surgery.
That's weird.
Everybody does that because well, you've been cut into. Things
Yeah,
have been moved around. They touch on your nerves. They don't just cut into you and it doesn't affect anything else. There's
that's true.
nerves involved. Everything's involved. Muscle, nerves, it's all there. So,
Well, yeah, I recently, through taking the Claim My Curve course through Strength and Spine, that's Dr.
mhm.
Beth's business, and then also the huge scoliosis community online, I read about how, what were we just talking about? I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. We were
How
talking
when you
about, oh, muscles and how
muscle.
everything's moved
Yes,
around.
right.
So, well, sometimes like I'm like, oh, I have a knot. And now what I'm learning, I'm like, it's on the left side and it's this side. So I'm like, oh, that's probably bone. Like, so I'm learning like, okay, so deep tissue massage isn't the best because you have to like, bone can feel like a tight muscle. So I'm learning that
Okay.
through everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
To
So I've just been like doing this to my bone.
your bones. Okay.
So
Well,
don't do that. Anyone listening, don't do that. Oh, but yeah, that that's enough of that. I don't like myths.
okay.
I have to do like myths and truths, but it led to good conversation, so that's
Yes, it
true.
did. Yes, it did. Yep.
But I don't know. Those are the only two good ones, though. But definitely, yeah, I didn't think about how they move everything all around.
Yep. They
But
move.
that's why, do you get itches you can't scratch?
Mm,
Does that
no,
happen to you on your tummy,
I can't feel
anywhere?
my tummy. Can't still to this day. Like if I touch my stomach because of I had a tummy tuck, so it's very funny feeling. My stomach is very tingly when I touch it. Like everything was shifted.
Okay.
So yeah, it's tingly, kind of almost like a numb feeling, and that's from
Ah.
my tummy tuck.
I get like I get the numb feeling on certain, like more my left side, or like I don't like towels.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't, I don't rub myself with the towel dry anymore. I pat myself
Ah,
with the
yep.
towel. And I can't scratch my itches. If I get an itch in a certain spot because the muscle and the tendons and everything has
The
been moved,
nerves, yeah, it's your
the
nerve.
nerve, it
It's
doesn't go
moved.
away. So
Mhm.
I've learned how to just sit with an itch. Fucking
Yeah,
terrible.
until it goes away.
Or I'll just like hurt other parts. Like I'll pinch myself there and focus on that. Like,
On
oh,
that.
it's
Yep.
kicking
Yep.
me. Excuse you.
Where is he? Oh, he's there.
It's over here, sleeping and kicking me. He's adorable though.
Easy
So cute.
about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's okay.
But I feel like this is, I don't know. Do you want to talk about anything else? Or anything else you want to talk about, Mom?
No. What about you?
Any, I don't want to ask for all the mama birds, mama dukes, papa dukes out there, anyone who has a kid in their life with scoliosis, what advice would you give to the mommy and daddies of, kids with scoliosis?
Definitely, when you hear it, research it, find it out, find a doctor, and do more annual check it annually, not every 3 years or 2 years, annually to watch the curvature so that it can be dealt with earlier in life.
That's
Definitely.
a good one. That's a huge one because I feel like I love my life. I love my parent, you guys, and like how we
I got
handled
it.
it. I feel like we did it the best we could with such
With what
limited
we knew,
information, with
right?
what we knew and what we were guided to know. Because
What we
I feel
knew,
like,
what we guided, but in honesty, I think as a parent, like you were young, but as a parent, I could have done more to have avoided where we ended up. More research,
ah,
more doctors, more constant watching it,
yeah,
which
or
we did
I
it.
feel like we didn't question them.
Right, or
because we
not
didn't have our own research. I feel like that
right.
falls on both of us because I was 16 years
You
old
were
too. Like,
like, okay, but still, like, no, because and then I guess kind of if you go to the doctor and he tells you what, whatever his opinion, if you're not happy with that, move on, find another one. Like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't just go by one doctor, which we didn't.
no. At the end, I feel like we did a great job. When I was 19 and we denied it for the first time,
Yep.
we saw 3 and 3.
Yes, we did.
And I'm glad because none of
Yep.
those 6 people even opened me or touched me. I ended up
No,
finding like Dr.
there's
Zavarella. So,
Zavarella. And how funny Zavarella, how I found him. I was at work with my
oh, really?
co.
I never asked. How did you find him? Tell me that.
We went online and asked for surgeons that deal with scoliosis. That's how we found him. We Googled him.
I did
And
not
I
know
picked
that.
him because he was close to where we lived. And everybody said, oh, you got to go to New
Go
York,
to
you
the
got to go to
city.
Fine, whatever. And that place was the best. I love that man. Dr. Zavarella was amazing.
He
He
is
was
amazing.
amazing.
Shout out Dr. Z.
Shout
I
out
gotta
to
get
that.
in contact with him
You
because
did.
I want to get him on here.
Yeah, he was amazing. I
He
swore
really
he was
is.
going to be my son-in-law,
Oh
but he
my
did.
God. Sorry,
But
Dr. Z.
it's
I'm
okay. I got
married
a better one. I got a
my
better one.
beautiful husband.
That's right.
Shout out. Shout out to
Shout out.
Thunder.
And mhm.
You did call one of your son-in-laws correctly. So that you called it with Quag.
Oh, I did. That was great.
Okay.
You were
So
also good. Yes,
when did you
we were
originally
in the
tell that
fire
story?
department. I don't know how old you guys were. You were young, but I loved Quacks. And I always told his mother, I don't know which one of my daughters he's going to marry, but he's marrying one of them. And all through, I watched him, and then you went to the senior ball with him, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Jacqueline. And
Nah,
then it ended
my
up being
best
Devin.
friend. It was
Yes,
my
he's your best friend.
sister. He's
Yep,
my best friend, but
there you go.
I made him, not made him. He actually got feelings for Devin on his own. It was
Yes,
Devin that needed the
a little
convincing.
coaxing.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's so funny. So
Mm, well,
you called it right. You called it right one time. So,
he did get it right once. That's it.
but that's
That's that.
funny.
Okay.
But I think that's it for this episode, guys.
Okay.
So,
It was
Mom,
good.
thank
Thank you.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming on here and sharing your story. And um, I don't know if this is up yet, but I'm gonna shout you out because we're gonna get my mom set up on social media with her sentimental scripts business. She is going to be well, she has married me, my sister, close friends of hers. She's an amazing, what do you call that? I'm
A
so sorry.
minister.
Ordained.
A minister.
Ordained. So yeah,
Ordained minister. Yes. Mhm.
yes. My mom is one of those, and the she's in Tennessee now, but Sentimental Scripts, we're gonna get that up and running
It's fun.
and go check her out. And yeah, that's where
Yeah.
you can find mom. And then for me, guys, the Twisted underscore Wanderer on Instagram. Also, I just made a YouTube channel, the Twisted Wanderer on YouTube, where I'll be posting my Dry January series, continuing that today. This wonderful podcast with my mom and some sports bra try-ons because I'm finding comfy things for my spine these days instead of not wearing comfy things. So yeah, that's it,
Yeah.
guys. I will see you all in the next episode. Until then, bye.
Thank you.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop. There you go.